Hello,
Hi.
DBD universe.
Hi,
We're so
everybody.
happy to have you back here in our living room.
Nice living room you got. It's bigger than mine.
I live here. This is my bedroom. Welcome, everybody. We have a fantastic show for you today. This is one of our monthly community streams, which we've kicked off just a few months ago. With each one, we're getting better, learning more things, adding new stuff. And today we have a whole smorgasbord of devs that you're going to get to meet, which is part of the purpose here, is for you to meet our team and not just hear from us. But a lot to talk about. We've got Grimoire.
We've got a lot of things. There's a little thing happening with the game next week.
Yeah, we've got a
PTB?
PTB coming next week for our next chapter. It'll be on Tuesday. A lot of this show is going to be what you're going to see in that PTB. We've seen some of you have already seen some of our teasers out on social, so you've already got a bit of the vibe you can expect in this new chapter. We are psyched.
Yeah.
So very first, we're just going to go through some very quick news, and then we're going to get to all that content. So get comfy. Yeah. As mentioned, PTB's next Tuesday. We've got something much more specific going on with the Wraith.
We're monitoring a situation right now with the Wraith's add-on, Soot, and the action with Turn Back the Clock perk. So we will have one of the designers on with us a little bit later that we might be able to get a bit more information about that. But it's not something that is technically a bug because it's an intended add-on. This is a legacy add-on from 10 years ago, but the interaction wasn't quite the intended. So we're going to look at what to do with that action, whether we keep it, whether we adapt it, and things like that, because we can see players have had a lot of fun with it.
I think your audio might be having issues there, Mandy.
Oh, no. I'm not.
It might be your mic. Your mic is down into your sweatshirt.
Okay, hang on.
This is what we do live.
Thanks, y'all.
Production are yelling at me right now, I'm sure.
I'll let Mandy give that update again once her mic's fit. Oh,
how's that?
Good. How are we sounding, everybody?
I haven't got a PC, so I can't see chat.
Oh, it was me? Someone in chat says, no, it was me, not her. Sorry. It's fine now. Great. All right. Why don't we talk about Wraith again?
Okay, so Wraith. We have a legacy add-on, which is Serpent Soot, and there's been a strange interaction with Turn Back the Clock, because the perk, you activate a break, you don't actually kick the generator, for example, and it instantly uncloaks the Wraith, which is actually kind of a fun add-on. It's technically not a bug, because it's working as designed, but it's just sort of unintended. So the team is currently monitoring the situation to see what we will do, if anything, about it. So we're going to have a few discussions with the designers while they figure out what they want for that interaction between Soot and Turn Back the Clock.
I have enjoyed turning back the clock, though. It's very satisfying to do that.
It is, isn't it? Especially in Chase, and then you just zap.
We've got currently not one, but two surveys running in the game right now. You can check out in the inbox, which we highly recommend you do because we need your feedback.
We do, especially at 2v8. That's going to be the current iteration. So please make sure you've actually played 2v8, played a couple of games, and then given us the feedback on it. And the other one is our general player pulse survey. So that is the one that comes out regularly. And that is a lot of information, and it's a big survey. So please, it's a super important one. Please take it.
And thank you for all who have been doing our surveys. Lots and lots of you are doing it, which is great because we're getting tons of data.
That I'm not supposed to give.
Great.
The killer balancing survey that we had, it broke all our numbers on survey numbers.
We broke survey records?
We broke survey records.
Great.
Our previous CSATs, we broke that.
Turns out people have opinions on killer balance.
Yeah, it was close to 200,000 answers. So that was like really well done. So we're going to be going through all those, and you can expect to see some updates based on those answers. And if I can give an overview of what the answers were at some point, Eric, let's see if we can do it.
This is like on wrestling, on WWE, when they're like, they set up a match and the crowd is all like, yeah, it's happening. Like, and it's going to happen next month. And the crowd's like, oh.
I haven't had the meeting yet. We're still, there's a lot of data. It's got to be all gone through by the user research team, so we don't have
next time
full
maybe
things.
All right. There was a very important fix. If you've been playing 2v8, you've noticed a couple issues. issues.
Yeah, a few crashes.
So the crashes, and there was also Wesker.
Yeah, the
issue.
Wesker being able to soft lock survivors and forcing them to disconnect.
So those were both addressed yesterday. So if you didn't pop in since then, pop back into 2v8, you're safe.
Yeah.
And very quickly, you might have noticed, or maybe not, we are underway for the Year of the Horse, which includes an in-game set of quests. And if you haven't noticed our social side of things, we have an additional promo code that will get you more BP and a cool charm. So celebrate the Year of the Horse. If you're celebrating right now, I salute you. And go get that. Blood points for everyone.
And go say hi to Maurice while you're
Yes,
at it.
our favorite horse.
Yes.
Another small thing, but very, very, very exciting for those of us who love this game. We are doing another collab with Balatro. If you're a Balatro fan, you recall from last year or whenever it was, yeah, it was last year, we got DBD card sets in Balatro. And now we've turned the tables and we've got a Balatro cosmetic coming for the unknown. And you're gonna get it starting tomorrow. You gotta go to our social channels, get a promo code to do that. So go check out your social channel of choice. I'm not going to suggest one because they're all terrible.
Extramash socials.
Yes.
Chat.
And then last bit of news. This is another really fun one, especially for our Scottish and Northern UK audience. We're going back to HorrorCon Scotland. It's going to be on April 11th, and we are sending both Dork and Omnia. So if you want to go meet them and say hi, they will be there. And you can have a great time because they've actually upgraded the experience that they had last year, which is already cool. They have a whole DBD experience, like you have to survive and there's killers and all. It's great. So shout out to the HorrorCon Scotland folks. They're really cool to work with. And that's it for me mumbling about news. Let's get into the content of the show that you're here to see. We're going to start things off with the Grimoire. I'm going to leave.
And me.
And Omnia is going to join us with our lovely design team people. So give us a quick transition. We'll be right back.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, guys.
Omnia here. We're here for the Grimoire segment of this stream. It's going to be really exciting. We have a lot of news to give all of you. But first, before we get started, just in case this is your first introduction to the Grimoire, we're going to give you a little bit of a recap of what the Grimoire is. So it's something we kicked off last year. It's our first community-made chapter. So we give you, our players, the ability to vote on the multiple different aspects of making a chapter, from the broader themes to the finer details, and we're just right now getting into those finer details, which is really fun. And we take all of your votes, and then we work on bringing the vision to life. So that's really exciting. And since January, you've had the ability to further define the characters that we're going to be bringing to the fog by voting on the killer silhouette and material and the survivor's face and mood board. And we'll continue to refine those, and their lore in the coming months through your votes, again, with the next one opening next week. It's going to be very exciting. And on February 27th, so coming very soon. And you'll get to vote on a number of things. We'll do a little reminder at the end. The killer and the survivor's final concept, their names, the killer weapon, and the chapter's name. So all very exciting.
I can't wait.
Yeah, we can't wait.
So cool.
It's going to be so exciting. I cannot wait. But I'm not alone here. I'm joined by Jeff and Jay from the design and the art team to give you a little update on the progress we're making on the Grimoire side of things. So I'm going to pass it on to you, Jeff, to give us some more details about the prototype.
Yes. So hey everyone, you may or may not know me. If you don't, my name is Jeff. I'm a senior game designer. I've been working on Dead by Daylight for many, many years, and I have the opportunity and honor of working on this chapter, which is fantastic. I've been loving seeing the votes and things take shape. It's really been awesome so far. So today I'm going to talk about the prototype. We recently passed Gate 2, which is about expanding and finding the fun. And we've just entered what we would call the refinement/polish phase. So, fine-tuning, finding the balance to make it feel good. And this, of course, goes beyond just the prototype, but this is where we start looking at the numbers and seeing how things feel. The first thing that I will show you is like I said, the prototype is progressing nicely. We just passed Gate 2. And then we also had a recent blog post that we shared, which gave you insight on what we've done so far. We've done a few more things since that post, but it gave you a little, behind-the-scenes view of what's happened. Let's get into it. The first thing I'll talk about is the Hopeless Exile. So the Hopeless Exile is the realm where you banish survivors as the killer, and they must face challenges while they're in there. And initially, the way that it worked is that you would be sent there, and it was like a timer, and you could make it go faster, and eventually you would get out. So here's what it looked like. I apologize if it's a bit choppy. This is a GIF which doesn't seem to be loading right now. Maybe if I press again.
I think it's because you said GIF and not GIF. I think that's the reason why.
No. Okay, it's not working. Okay, it's fine. We'll go to the video instead. So, does this work?
I think the Hopeless
Okay,
Exile,
perfect. So,
it's working.
it's going to be a little fast, and I'm going to replay it again, but this is what it was basically. So you see there's the depleting gauge around the survivor portrait. That was your exile timer, and you could collect these crystals to make it go faster. And once it was over, you would go back to the entity's realm. So I'm going to go back just so that we don't play the next part. And what we found is, obviously, with prototypes, we do playtests. We do a lot of playtesting internally, externally with the user research team, with our consultants. We get a lot of feedback. And for the Exile, in the first version that we had, the feedback that we got was mostly that it felt too easy and uninteresting as Survivor. Because initially, even before this version that I just showed, there were no crystals. You were just dodging the pillars of light that you could see in the Exile. And so we added the crystals to give an objective to survivors to play with. And to make it even more satisfying to collect, we made it give you a haste bonus, so you get the little speed boost. And that was very well received. Mm-hmm. But even with that, the comments that we got was that something was missing. There was interactivity that was missing. And of course, the level that you see here is not at all final. It's not even the layout that we want. This is really just to be able to test the Exile. So we just have a flat plane with these random blocks placed around. It's all work in progress. So that's what we did first. And no, it's not clicking. Production, help.
Production is on it. We've got it.
Okay, so anyway, when we were discussing the Exile, the one with the depleting timer, we had a bit of an epiphany where the survivors just didn't feel pressure for being in there. So some of the comments that we got was even that they felt safe and they felt like it was a grace period of some kind.
And you don't want them to feel safe in the Hopeless Exile.
No, exactly. This is the killer is sending you there to punish you, so you shouldn't feel safe. So what we did, the epiphany that we had is that it has to be like a hook, right? Previously, it counted as a hook state, but it didn't have the risk of being on a hook. So with the current version, which you're seeing at very high speed, because it's a very long video, it's actually like a hook, one-to-one. So you get sent there, you get your hook, and your hook timer starts draining. And here, if you get hit by the pillars, it actually depletes your hook timer faster. So there's a very high risk to being in there and getting hit. The crystals in this version, we're still exploring what they're going to do, but there is something that I wanted to mention, which is initially the killer could go in there, and we removed it because we felt that it was adding a layer of complexity that was not needed. And of course, complexity and cognitive load is always something that we care about because we don't want things to be difficult to understand or like start learning or just start playing with. However, we got feedback from our playtesters, both internal and external, that they want to go in there as killer. They want to see it. They want to experience it, which is, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's the killer's realm. So all that to say that we will be exploring the killer going back in there, but it is not set in stone because the killer's kit as it is feels very complete. There's a lot of moving parts already, and it may feel like, again, still that layer that's too much and makes it too complex. So we'll have to see. But all of this is very normal for prototyping. Like in prototypes, we test things quickly, we validate them, we for lack of a better term, we kill things, we take them out, we try them again. It's just like we're
very fitting for the killer,
Yeah, we're constantly iterating. Like that's the whole point of the prototype is to test ideas and validate them so that when we start production, we are confident in moving forward, and we know that all the work that we're going to do is going to end up in a really good product for our players. The next thing that I want to mention is the artifact. So really quickly, back when you guys voted on the power, you voted for how to stand accumulate was the pain of artifacts. And that was the idea that survivors may try to wield your relics, but they face severe punishment. And a lot of discourse that we saw online was that players didn't seem to like the idea that you would get punished for carrying something. And like the immediate link that was made is that carrying the object will make you gain sin. And I think everyone made that connection, like even internally. However, we know, both internally and our players, that that sort of thing can lead to a lot of problems in terms of balancing, because if the stars get punished for carrying something, they're just not going to carry it. And so it becomes irrelevant because they're not going to interact with it. And then we'd have to find a way to force them to carry it, which arbitrary things like that, they tend to not feel too great from a player perspective. So we went back to the drawing board, and while we were discussing the exile and the hook state and everything like that, we had this idea of integrating the artifact in the exile. Oh, sorry.
I think
my shirt is rubbing.
Let's make sure.
That was very difficult to see. I'm sorry. I'll just hold it like that. Like that, it's gonna stop. So the idea is you can find the artifact in the exile, and what it does is you'll be able to, the crystals that you see, instead of running towards them, you'll collect them with this artifact. Gameplay is still being determined, but once you've charged it, it will grant you immunity to one of the pillars, so you can avoid your hook state being drained. That's the next thing we're going to try. And again, this is exploration. We'll see if it works. It may not stick, and it may not be in the final product, but that's a way that we felt would respect the players' votes, because the idea is that while you're collecting the crystals with the artifact, like imagine it works like a flashlight or the EMP from the singularity, you're putting yourself at risk of being hit by those pillars because your movement speed is slower, maybe your visibility is smaller. So, I think it links pretty nicely to survivors may try to wield your relics but face severe punishment. So, again, we'll have to see.
It's worth mentioning is that, as you explain all the changes that are happening, the thing that is really unique with the Grimoire is that we're taking you, our players, through every step of the way.
Yes.
And so you get to see the changes that we have to make sometimes in the background for, other releases to make sure that a power, can work well and can be fun and can be, appreciated on both sides. So here it's like there's all these changes happening, and you get to see why we're making them too, which is really cool. We get to take you with us through this process.
Yeah, and again, prototyping is all about iterating quickly and finding what works, what doesn't. And one of my previous leads has once told me, "Fail fast, follow the fun." because that's what prototyping is all about. If you identify what doesn't work quickly, you can move on to finding what works, right?
Yeah. You need to try it.
Exactly.
That's it. You need to try it first.
Exactly. And I think one of the main points that I want to highlight is that as a designer, when you work on a feature, you get a lot of feedback, and you have to learn to filter that feedback, because feedback is important, but you have to understand why that feedback is there. What's the problem that you're trying to solve based on that feedback? And one of the things with this feedback that we got about the Exile is that it was consistent, right? And when feedback is consistent, kind of hints that something is not working as it should. So that's where we're making, a lot of changes. All right, sorry, I have to grab the clicker.
Oh, yeah.
Moving on to the Ray of Retribution. So that is the active power that you guys voted on. And it's the description that was voted on was you channel a beam of divine energy to punish the unworthy. Something along those lines. So I'm going to show you, maybe the GIF is going to work. No dice, no dice. Oh, give it time? Okay, production says to give it time. So with the Ray of Retribution, the first thing that we explored, you saw a doodle of that actually very recently, was the idea that...
Yeah.
It was very, stick figure drawing is my strength. So it's the idea that you charge up this beam and there's like a warning phase and then it triggers and it fires and it does its thing. And, I'm going to be very blunt and honest. It worked. Like it worked. It did the thing that it was supposed to do. However, coming back to the feedback, we got consistent feedback both internally and externally from the user research team, which, by the way, if you don't know, you can go to the behavior website to sign up for the playtest squad. You may test a bunch of different things, not specifically the Grimoire, but if you're interested in helping out, you could do that. So user research team with their playtest squad and the consultants, the feedback was consistent that it lacked depth and skill expression. And obviously, when we design a killer power, we want it to feel engaging. And when there's no depth and no skill expression, it ends up kind of falling flat, and that's not great.
No. Well, you want the fun again.
Yes,
you want
yes,
the fun to
exactly.
be a part of it, like you were mentioning.
Yeah. So production. I'm just gonna skip to the video production. Thank you. So I'll show you what it looks like now. Oh.
Oh.
Oh, we can still see each other. Yeah. Okay, you want me to say that? Okay, sorry, production, that wasn't clear. All right, we'll be right back. We're having technical difficulties. BRB, guys.
The retribution was too powerful.
Yes.
We can get back into it.
Yes. Thank you, production, for letting me know. Right, so I'm going to show you the GIF now because it's actually playing. So this is the current version, or the previous version, sorry, was the beam. So here you see you're aiming as the killer, and then you fire it, which has the expansion, which was the warning phase, and you got the blue part, which is the actual, effect phase. So like I was saying, we got consistent feedback that it lacked depth and skill expression, and this, our players, the people that got to test it, the playtesters, they were very creative in using it. They were using it through gaps. They were using it, over loops, which was cool. But even with all of that, it still didn't meet the criteria or the expectation that they had with a killer power, which, because it was consistent, we had to pivot. We couldn't just keep going in this direction. And at this point, we challenged our own assumptions, which is does the beam actually have to come from the killer itself? You know, because it's very, I think, intuitive to think that a beam that you fire comes from you as the killer, but we challenged that. And so the alternative that we got, and I'm sorry for making this comparison, I apologize, but I have to because it's the easiest way to explain it, is kind of like an orbital laser, right? You're gonna see in the next GIF, this is the current version that we are testing. So you can charge, which has this pillar that forms and starts moving away from you. And as it moves away, you can control it. And then you can fire it as well, which will basically send it flying in a straight line from whatever direction it was going. And it will also increase in speed like twice or 3 times or, you know, 4 times maybe. Who knows? We'll have to see. Balancing. But so far with this, it's been super promising. Everyone that's seen it, everyone that's, you know, tested it in the editor has had very positive comments. And we feel that this is a very strong candidate to kind of like answering those comments about skill expression and depth. And what I feel personally is that the skill ceiling for this will be very high, right? Because you have to learn when to charge, how to control it, and there's even an element of prediction. It might be a little bit unclear in the GIF or even in the video that I'm going to show after, but it actually goes through objects right now, right?
Okay.
That may not be the case in the final version, but right now we're testing that. And the idea is that when it goes through something, there's a little bit of a slowdown, right? So you can imagine like it erupts through the collision that it's going through.
Yes.
So anyway, we're exploring all this. We've made really good improvements on the controls because the initial version of this had a bit of a problem where eventually it felt like it was more parallel to the center of your screen as opposed to like trying to reach it. And over here, again, maybe a little bit unclear because the GIF is so fast, but it actually tries to catch up to where you're looking. There's like a little line, kind of a string showing that it's going there. And, you know, personally, I think the programmer working on this did a fantastic job at, you know, nailing the controls. Obviously, there's still improvements to be made. But yeah, that's the idea. I have a question here from production. How will this work on indoor maps? Well, right now what we're exploring, and of course this will be in tandem with you know, the help of Jay and his team, but what we're exploring is that it's actually like just piercing through the entire level, right? So
Very divine.
So
yeah,
You know.
very powerful
yes,
and
Yes.
very, very strong.
Like that's even with the previous version, the goal is for this pillar or beam, you know, whatever it ends up being, to feel very heavy and powerful, right? Like we're talking about a divine killer that just wants to strike the sinners with, you know, and punish them. So, one more thing that I'll say is that this version, the pillar, has a lot more levers to play with for balancing, which means that we can fine-tune the experience of using it and playing against it a lot more. Because with the beam, we were reliant on basically just, you know, timings. And what we found is that if we made it too generous, it felt too consistent and too difficult to dodge. But if you made it take longer, it felt like it was impossible to hit. And so finding that like sweet spot was just, I foresaw a balancing nightmare, basically is what I'm trying to say. So with this one, there's a lot of things that we can play with, and we can fine tune that experience a lot more. All right, so we got another question. Production, should I read the names? Okay, we got a question from Shiver with Mealy. Lovely. So will it hit across 2 floors at once? That is a very good question, and at the moment we are going to test it with hitting multiple floors at once, but it may not be the case in the final version because of course we still have to balance it. We have to make it, you know, feel fair and fun to play against for, you know, the survivors. So we're gonna have to test it out, basically is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, so like I said, none of this has been balanced. What you're seeing on screen is really just like, I think the second or third iteration of what we have. It's even progressed since this GIF, because of course the programmer is you know, doing all the different things that I'm asking. I'm sorry, I'm asking for a lot. But yeah, so we'll be fine-tuning it, and of course we're going to continue play testing both internally, externally, and yeah, I mean, I'm very excited for this. I think it's really cool, and there's a lot of potential with this power, and I'm very interested in seeing how it'll go over time. And so finally, before I close off my section of this segment, I've been yapping for a long time, I'm sorry. Our next step is to add the simplest version of the artifact to the Hopeless Exile to validate if it's fun and interesting for the survivors, if it ticks those boxes that we had. So we're basically going to steal the flashlight is what we're going to do. We do a lot of theft for prototypes. It's easier that way, faster to iterate. And of course, we're going to improve the Ray of Retribution in terms of a mechanical feel, right? Because we have like the inputs that have to feel nice, right? Like how you press the buttons to make it work, but also mechanically speaking, like its speed, its charge time, all those things are things that we have to look into to make it feel great to use as a killer. And the last thing that we really want to look into is refining the Hopeless Exile to have more control over the spawning of the hazards and the crystals or whatever the collectibles end up being. Because right now they're just spawning randomly, and obviously that's not super great. So we're going to look at like maybe having different tiers of crystals that have more concentrations of hazards around them, so it's more difficult to get them, for example. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm yapping away. We're going to explore all those things. We got production has another question. Yes, from Iron Quacks. As of right now, can you hold the ray indefinitely? As of right now, no. There is a maximum lifetime to how long you can hold it, and even once you trigger it. So I think right now you can hold it for 3 seconds. After 3 seconds, it goes away. But if you fire it before those 3 seconds are up, it will refresh its lifetime. So it'll go for 3 seconds, and then it will disappear again. And you can only have 1 ray active at a time. But yeah, so I hope you guys are excited. I'm really excited. Like, honestly, out of all the powers that I've worked on, this is probably the coolest. Like, it's super dope. So yeah, that's it. I'm done yapping.
All very exciting. And not yapping at all. We want to know this. We want to hear this.
It's so interesting.
It is so interesting to see the process. And again, this is the first time that we get to do it, to this extent. So I think that's really, really cool. And before we move on, I'll also mention that we'll have more to share on our socials very soon. We gave a progress update, I think, 2 weeks ago now, that we know you really appreciate it, seeing all the work that goes into it, all the different steps it goes through from a lot of different, departments and the work that they do on this chapter. So we'll have more coming very, very soon. Just keep an eye on our social channels. So that was great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right.
And before yes, you're gonna you still have the power of the clicker. So we still need you. Where we're gonna move on to the art side of things because we've had some votes in January, but we're gonna have another vote coming next week. That's going to be very exciting. So Jay, I'm going to let you take over and tell us a little bit about that.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you so much. So, first I want to say super awesome. I'm super excited to be working on that kit. There's a lot of interesting ideas that are brewing on my head into how to justify that. So that will be really great. Little introduction for people who do not know me. I am Jay. I am the art director on the Grimoire chapter. So I've been working with all the team basically to justify all the visual in the votes that were happened. So I'm still ongoing into the team to just to bring more concept and make that evolve essentially. So thank you so much for having me today. So a quick update on the art side is that we are currently working on finalizing the concept for next step. So on the killer side, based on the material that were voted last time, we're essentially looking on how we're gonna explore to mix them together to really create an enticing killer. So giving an example from the winning material for last time, we're looking into, okay, how do we gonna take the blue flesh material and essentially mix them with the other material, or how are we going to use all these material together to create something really that will convey the right themes that we want to go for that killer, which are essentially divine and horror. So it was really important for us to find the proper recipe that we want to go for so that we are able to showcase the divine elements that players are expecting, but also making sure that the horror of DBD from a killer is still respected in there, that we fit within the story we want to build around that killer, and essentially that we fit with the gameplay also that we want to go for. So it's a lot of collaboration work that we're essentially all discussing together and really evolving the visual toward a common goal to make it work with all the different parts of that killer kit. So I'm super excited today to actually share that I have brought a little glimpse of what my team is essentially working on right now. So we have a little teaser of what will be one of the options to vote for next time. So I think we can look at it right now.
It's so exciting.
Yeah,
It's
so
so
we're keeping
exciting.
it mysterious. It's part of
Yes.
it's part of
But
the game.
we can see, like, I can recognize the pieces
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we voted on,
Yeah, exactly.
which is very cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think one thing worth mentioning too is we posted recently about the new roadmap for the votes, and players were asking, they voted on the killer silhouette. They were asking, we voted on the killer material. How is the final concept going to be different? But I think it's also about realizing that we want them to vote on all of these aspects because we want the final killer to be as close as possible to what they want, and really personalizing it. And here, maybe you can also tell us a little bit about what it takes to take those pieces and put them together into a concept.
Yeah, absolutely. We went through a certain order to being a bit ambiguous at the beginning so that we get ourselves the freedom to bring more surprises and more creativity.
We love
into it.
surprises.
Exactly, exactly. And I think we're really going to have more of these surprises for next time. So I'm really excited to be able to unveil more as we go on.
Personally, I'm very excited to see what all the VFX is going to look like, right? Because now that we have the killer material, we can start exploring how the visuals of the power is going to look. And
Yes.
Absolutely.
I cannot wait. It's going to be so cool.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and we still have surprise, right? Weapons,
Yes,
where we're going with that. So yeah,
Many things.
let's keep it at that.
So again, make sure to vote next week on February 27th if you want to your decision to be heard for this killer, because it's going to be pretty exciting.
Absolutely. All right. And now if I jump on the survivor side of things. So thanks to the previous vote that we have, we know what the survivor face will look like now. And the mood board were telling us a bit about our story, about her teams, essentially. So we're really hard at work currently into taking all these ideas and combining them together to create that new survivor. So right now, we are doing exploration using questions we are asking ourselves, essentially. So like, okay, what sort of story do you want to give that survivor that would be interesting? Or how do we want to shape that survivor to be unique to our game and essentially stand out from the rest of the cast of DBD? So these are all things that we are asking ourselves. We're working in collaboration with every department to making sure that we have something unique and original to offer, essentially. So I'm also excited to say that today I've also brought a little teaser.
A lot of surprises.
Yes, yes. I also brought a teaser for our survivor, so we can have a glimpse of one of the voting options we will have for next time. So as you can see, you recognize the face, right? It's still, so yeah, we're going to...
Very, very exciting. And this is just a sneak peek. We'll have more to show next week.
Absolutely, yes.
But I'll say I've loved seeing on socials how much players have already, taken everything they've seen so far, all of the votes, and made it their own. They're already attached to these characters, which is really, really exciting. So you'll get to refine these characters even more next week, which is going to be very, very exciting.
The journey has been so great and so excellent. It's really been super fun.
And we were just talking before how, when we knew the votes were coming, we were like, oh yeah, that one's probably gonna come out on top, and then we're like, oh shit, they actually went
a lot of
different way.
We got
surprises.
surprises. This is for sure
really fun.
a lot of unexpected surprises there.
Yeah.
That's really cool to see.
And it's part of the fun.
Exactly.
It's part of the fun for us too, working on the Grimoire and all the different teams who have to adapt to it too. It's really making something completely unique here. So very, very exciting. But
Sorry,
I think
do we have an extra slide for the next
yes,
part? Okay, I just
yes,
want to make sure.
we have an extra slide. We're just going to do a little recap of the next votes that are coming because that's very exciting. So next week on February 27th, we have a lot for you to vote on. We have the killer final concept and survivor final concept that we talked about. Right here, we have the killer weapon, the killer name, the survivor name, and the chapter name. So a lot to vote on. Make sure to vote next week because there's a lot you're going to be able to define through these votes, and we absolutely want to hear what you want to see in the Grimoire. So next week, make sure to tune in. And then on March 19th, we have Killer Perks, Survivor Perks, Killer Mori storyboard, and the chapter logo. So more for you to define for this chapter. So very, very exciting. Any last words before we leave them?
Well, I want to know what people think about the results. So go
know.
vote. I want the opinion of people. So
Go
yeah, for
vote,
sure.
but also let us know what you think about, everything you've seen so far. We've loved seeing the fan art. That's been amazing. There's been so much fan
yes.
art on socials. We've loved seeing who you think these characters are, what you've made of them so far, of their world, of their lore. So if you have anything, you want to share with us, please do it through our social channels. We want to know.
Absolutely.
And I think that's it. We're gonna
Just
Yes.
before we dip, expect more, behind the scenes look at things for the prototype. We have some stuff cooking right now, so stay tuned to the socials, I suppose. But it's been nice to bring you guys on the journey with us, and I hope that you've enjoyed it as much as we have.
It's been lovely. We've really enjoyed it. And if you want a clearer look at the sneak peeks we've shared today, we'll also be sharing those, so you won't have missed anything if you didn't see that. And there's a VOD too at the end. But that's it. Thank you so much for joining us for the Grimoire. And next we're going to talk about the features coming in the next update.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day. All right.
Welcome back. Shout out to everyone that was in that last segment. That was super fun to watch. Super fun to watch chat. Looking into this chat is like looking into the abyss, and everyone sees something different. I saw one lone man saying that Jay looked like Oliver Reed, which like 2 people in the chat will even know that name. He's an actor from the 70s in Great Britain. Cinephiles in chat, 75-year-old cinephiles.
Yeah,
Shout out.
I feel old now.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. But now, I don't even know if we're even halfway. We have so much to talk about today. We've got a lot.
Yes.
So I should shut my mouth. So we've brought on 2 more of our devs. You might remember this fellow who earned the nickname Papi Diego last time he was here. This is Diego, our UX master. And Thomas, or Thomas, if you want to go the English route, but Thomas, if you're bilingual like me, is you've done stuff with us before, but it's been a minute.
Yes, I did the Singularity. We did the thing for the Singularity where I presented the killer and the perks. I think so.
Yeah.
It was and transmission. I remember that.
So it's been a while. So welcome back.
Yeah. What else did I do?
It wasn't supposed to harm there too.
Yeah. Wasn't supposed to.
I remember that. Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
And Tomas' specialty, at this point in time at least, who knows what actually do know some of the other stuff you're doing. But for this context, is perks.
Yes, absolutely.
And we've got, honestly, a pretty exciting update to perks.
Yeah, I hope so too, yeah.
So that's what we've brought in, and it has a UX component, obviously, so that's why Diego's here. We also have another special surprise from Diego after, but let's talk about perks.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do I get started on this, right? We started working on this such a long time ago, something we've internally called the Perk description overhaul, which is just a colossal undertaking, really. It's like all 300 perks descriptions were rewritten from scratch. A lot of people have worked on this. Like, obviously, I'm sitting here presenting this. I'm very grateful for it, and Diego is here too. But there were a lot of people whose hands and minds worked on this. So yeah, we took it up on ourselves, I suppose, to rewrite all of the perks descriptions. And just to clarify here, this description overhaul does not change the gameplay. So there may be other changes, but this rewriting the descriptions did not change the way they play. So yeah, like I said, we started working on this a very long time ago because when you read the descriptions, they were really, it felt like it aged a little bit, right?
And even saying rewriting it is kind of underselling it. Like when you see what we actually did,
yeah, absolutely.
It's a good update. So let's dive in here.
Yeah, absolutely. So the goal that I always had in mind was to shorten and modernize all perk descriptions. I wanted to do this because obviously DBD is like a 10-year-old game, right? And at this point, when we started writing, we had a different goal in mind. And this has changed over time and with all the content that we added. So when I looked at the perk description and what the people were saying, that they had a hard time understanding, they had to explain it to their friends. So we wanted to reduce the length so that it's just shorter, to the point, right? Using what we say like modern player-facing language, which is what as much as possible what the players are using, and also doing it a consistency pass so that all the descriptions kind of look and feel the same, and also try to set up the path, pave the way for the future, if I can say that. So here's a look at Old Light. You probably like this one. It has like maybe there's like there are like memories of, right. That's the way you look at Light. And this is the new Light. It's obviously a lot shorter. It's a lot shorter, and it has these like bullet points with the status effects are highlighted. So it's just really it's just a lot shorter. And maybe at the bottom you can notice this little thing here. It's called extra info. So let's just imagine you have a mouse now that you could just like hit mouse to here. So this is a new feature, and why don't Diego?
Oh, sure.
Want to say something about it?
Yeah, thank you. Sure. Yeah, this is part of the whole effort we have been doing with Thomas, and what we wanted to do is to also not only make perks easier to understand when reading them, but also provide a way for you to learn what are we talking about when presenting the perks, and remember that too. So we had the issue that multiple effects were described, as we're going to show. But you kind of needed to know what they were as someone, or just go blind into the match and somehow learn what exhausted was. So now we're going to allow you, when there is starting with status effects for now, when there is a status effect mentioned in a perk, for you to, with a single click, have a reminder of what that is all about.
Yeah, and this saves a lot of space, as you'll be able to see in a very short moment. But I also want to say one of the other things I think is really important that we added was now whenever, instead of saying active ability button 1 or 2, everybody liked that, right? But instead of saying that, it'll display the key that you've mapped to it. So obviously there's still only ability button 1 and 2, but if you bind it to E, it's going to say E instead. And if you bind it to F or whichever other key you would like to bind it to, this is what's going to appear. So this is live now. If you show the extra info, it's going to show these little 2 status effect reminders. And
people are spamming E in chat.
That's amazing. But emphasis that is if you display it. So just for people to know, when you see the tooltip, the extra info is not going to be displayed. You choose to do it, so we're trying not to be invasive or noisy.
Yeah, but this has allowed us to shorten a lot of the descriptions because a lot of them had, a lot of the text was just reminders that we were manually entering. So that is live, and of course...
To be clear, that is live, not
Live?
live yet.
Oh,
We're almost there.
man, you got
I
me.
just want to be, I want people to know that.
You got me. So this little show and tell, I brought a few examples here so that we could look at. This is Old Dark Devotion. It's pretty long when I look at it.
A little.
Yes, it's a little long.
My ADHD cannot handle it.
Can you tell me what it does, like without reading it?
It's for the plague.
Yeah, that's fair. This is New Dark Devotion. So it's a lot shorter.
Heck yes.
It uses the bullet points to really convey the information after the trigger or the condition, and then it says you gain undetectable, and then if you open the extra info, it shows you what undetectable does.
And people may be realizing that undetectable is writing in this kind of like teal color, cyan.
Yes.
That's also because what we're doing is to present now the status effect when they are positive to the roll itself. We're going to show with this more positive color and leave the orange now, not red even, as to say this is something that's a negative effect to the player. That's why undetectable is in this color.
This is the science of UI, UX, and design. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you bring a very good point, because if you look at the next one, background player, there are a lot of colors here. And there is a logic to that color. I don't know if I should get into it for time's sake, but there used to be a lot of colors in a perk's description, and it used to mean a lot of different things. So if you look at the new background player, you'll see only the status effects are highlighted in their proper colors. It's always the same colors. And the other numbers are just bolded here. Personally, I think it reads a lot clearer.
The icons too are super helpful.
Yeah. That's true. I forgot about that. We also have the
We have seen it so many times that we just
helping.
forget. Yeah.
Yeah, I got more of these. Everyone knows Noed. It's a very nice one. I think it's probably one of our longest, if not dramaturgy, but I guess I'm to blame for that one. So Noed is now, I can't read it. It's too small. It's so short that, it's a lot shorter. Noed, I think, has a very simple gameplay, right? When all generators are completed, the totem ignites, and you gain these effects, and then there's an additional effect. This should take like 3 or 4 lines, and that's what it does. So that was part of the undertaking. And last but not least, Dead Hard, everyone's favorite
Never heard
perk.
of it.
Yeah, you've never heard of Dead Hard?
I have suffered as a killer main. I have suffered this
Right?
one.
Yeah. So Dead Hard had a very long description, and now it's a lot shorter.
You could say that's dead easy to read. Huh?
You could say that? Yeah,
could.
absolutely.
Probably
yeah.
should.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably should.
Very simple. Because Dead Hard again is a very simple perk. You meet the condition, you get this prompt, you activate it, you gain these effects, and that's it. It doesn't need to have it didn't need today to have all of these extra text. So these are all of my examples.
Heck yeah. You have one more slide, I think.
Do I?
Yep.
I do. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I forgot that. Yeah. So, so I guess this wasn't a one-size-fits-all solution. I always say that overall it should be 95% better. We couldn't apply the rule to everything equally. I think most of the perks we've cut a lot of text, so it's a lot shorter, a lot easier to understand. But some perks may look different, and I think there's going to be some time to adapt to this. And
For sure.
Yeah. Hopefully everyone will enjoy this update and look for more improvements like this in the future. This was a lot of clerical work.
Yeah, it's a big undertaking, but people in chat are definitely appreciating it. I think this is a great example of what actual quality of life improvements are. So that's
Right. I'm glad to hear it.
appreciated.
Yeah. And I guess we look forward to the players' feedback because we are not gods. We have done our best, right?
Speak for yourself,
We've
man.
done our best to improve this, but the players see this every day.
Yeah.
I'm sure they will have feedback, and we will be improving
be
this
there
as
listening.
we go on. Yeah, absolutely.
We're not done. We got questions for you, Thomas.
Yes.
From Grilled Ches 96. Are the character quotes and lore text still going to be included in the perk descriptions?
Yes, absolutely. So So the quotes are still at the bottom. We've seen them. Can I go back with this?
can.
Yeah, absolutely. I can go back.
There you go.
So if you look at Dead Hard, you'll see in this kind of like beige, this off-white beige, the quote is still there, but that's a very good point. I forgot to mention that the what we used to call the intro flavor text, so there used to be lines of flavor before the perk description, that has been cut. And this has allowed us to save a lot of space to bring you the action, bring you the explanation of what the perk does first, and then the flavor text goes after to give you a little bit of context and everything. But we don't obfuscate or disorient the player's reading by putting a flavor quote at the start anymore.
Yep.
So yeah, absolutely.
Streamlined. And I wanted to give a quick mention. There is an amazing Twitch extension that the community made that helps you see perks when you're watching people playing the game. We want to, if you're watching, otherwise we'll reach out. Want to let you know we're happy to help update those on your side so your perks and the extension can match what are in the game. So we don't want to leave you hanging there.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't mention it, but I think, Diego, this appears in every instance of where you would see the perk, right?
Exactly.
This tooltip.
The extended one, and the only exception that we're having right now is the Trend Secret.
Yes, that is true.
Because we have been evaluating different things. So that's why we decided for now to take our first step without the Channel Secrets. But everywhere else, so if you're on the lobby, you're on the match details, you can check that out.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're not done. Diego has brought some goodies as well. So if you want to hand over the clicker.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry.
What have you got for us, Diego? Last time you were here, you brought us the scratch marks that people enjoyed.
Yeah. So today I want to talk about auras.
Oh, yeah.
It's an interesting subject because we know that our game currently has a lot of different colors, a lot of different auras, and it has been something that has been added and organically evolved over time. Again, as Thomas said, we're almost 10 years as a game. So we are seeing how things were added for the best for gameplay. Currently, we have decided to start rethinking about the auras to meet the players' better experience. So to better understand the game, to better learn, so all UX related. Plus, seeing how the new art vision for the game could fit the game in the sense like, what are the colors that we really want to present, to show DBD as this multiplayer horror game that we have. So it's the artistic vision and how that goes through UX to also match gameplay needs. So we also know that with the current situation, we have cases where color perception being reduced or different. Auras are super hard to see. Even for us on the farm, at least I speak for myself, when I'm trying to get at the survivors, it's sometimes harder. So, bear with me. We are doing changes here. And again, we want to have this unified look, and because of the same thing, we are working now with a new system on how do we treat and use auras in DBD. And because of this, you are going to start seeing some differences. First of all, the color of auras are going to be the same, regardless if you are a killer or a survivor, you're going to see the same color for the same type of object entity. And thus, we are going to go and say, let's show the survivors in their color, as usually they are in the bluish color. I added there by default. I'll talk about that. So they will appear in blue by default. There are going to be some changes. So for instance, we want all killer objects, as they are, most of them, shown in the white area, white color. So for people that are used with trickster or hunters to see the hatchet, the knives on the lockers in this yellowish color, well, we'll have to get used to the first day to say, oh, it's white now. So that's one thing. And if you happen to want to see the colors as they were, like there in red, the survivor, or you will wish to see aura in different colors, now we're going to see how to play the video. Because I cannot
might need
do
a
that.
click from Mandy over there.
Can you help me with that, Mandy, please?
There it is.
Now you're going to be able to go to the beta tab and try new colors. Outside the match or inside the match, doesn't matter, for you to change things to fit better the experience you want to have as a player. No matter if you're a survivor or a killer, you are going to be able to start tweaking some aura colors. We are going to do this with a set of them, so the ones we think are most important for us to start testing and to leave on your hands to test and to empower yourself with, being survivors, killers, hooks, palette, windows.
Can we play it again? I just want to roll it through again.
Yes, please, Mandy. We have another video coming though. So that was more like it is. So you go there, and you can see, by the way, that the color palette has way more colors than the scratch marks.
Yes.
So they are different. They may evolve from here to PTV and release, but we are trying to provide the colors that, again, match what DBD is, but also what players need for the best experience while playing. And I have here another example. So when carrying a survivor, you can see so many red stuff. So Mandy, if you can play the video, you will see that someone could say, like, you know what, generators, I don't need them to be red. I just can go and say, hey, give me cyan or something like that meant. Again, colors to be maybe revised, but yeah.
Dope as hell. Dope as hell. And I have to commend you, Diego, for essentially trolling the entire chat.
Why
in the
not?
way that you rolled this out. For the first half, they're like, oh, okay, but why can't I change my own colors? And then bam, you dropped it on them.
Yeah.
You are a bamboozler.
I like to create a narrative, even if it backfires from time to time.
I don't know if it was your intent, but it was an emotional roller coaster.
Nice. So just to close, we are going to keep improving this. You can see there at the right side that we are also adding tooltips for you to preview the color. So you don't need to be opening the settings and closing seeing how it is. It's going to be a preview that it's very close to how you should be seeing the color in the game. We did it for scratch marks, we prepared, so of course it was the moment to do it for auras. So we are going to see both of those things together coming in the next update. We are going to be also adding new auras as we test and refine the system and hear your feedback. It's super important for us to hear your feedback, deliver as constructively possible, and remember that the choices have been made for consistent and clearer rules. Meaning that, again, something are going to change. Hatchets are not going to be yellow by default, but we think this is going to allow us to go forward, to unify the artistic direction of this, and to empower you now with a system that allows you to customize the color of the auras.
And I like that. I think people keep in mind, like you just said, this is not a ship it and we're done, we're going to walk away. There's iterations on this planned, and we do want to hear what people are thinking. So
exactly,
a great way to approach it. We have another question from chat. Will there be a red stain color change option for survivors?
So the red stain is something that we have in our radar. I cannot confirm nor deny that we're working on it. But what I would say is that we have heard that the red stain is something that would be good for us to visit, to evaluate. I think the reasons we have discussed now are fairly, you would say, as valuable to ask ourselves things like the red stain or other elements. Can we provide some tools for players to customize the experience and perhaps change the color?
Perhaps.
We will see.
It is funny that one I remember asking about. It's much more complicated tech-wise than I ever would have imagined.
Well, we can always get surprised on like how complicated things can be. And I must say, it has been a very, very big effort too, like as Thomas mentioned for the Perk description. This has been giant. So our team, the programmers, artists, UI, all of them has really put their energy and love into this feature. So I hope the players love it too, and remember that we're going to keep improving it.
Heck yeah. Well, I do have to keep us rolling because, again, the show is not over. So thank you so much, guys. This was a great segment, very fun to do with you.
Pleasure, yeah.
We have more updates coming that you'll be able to play next week in our next segment. So we're going to do another quick switcheroo, but please do hang on. We're going to walk through that map on the show, so you don't want to leave. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, welcome back. So with me today, now what we're going to talk about, Nick? Nick is
Words,
one of our game designers.
things, stuff.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe stuff to do with, I don't know, killer?
Yeah, we are going to talk about Killer Actions update because we're updating the language. Oh, I'm in control of the slides.
Yeah, no. I'm scared, people.
Hello. So yes, no, I'm going to go back for now, and we're going to set it up. But yes, so as Thomas was mentioning earlier in the stream, we had a really great opportunity to update Killer Actions language in the 9.5.0 update, and we decided to standardize a lot of inconsistencies that we saw across the game for many, many years. So if you've been playing Dead by Daylight for a really long time, you know that we previously did not distinguish between basic and special attacks.
Yeah.
And for certain interactions between perks and killer powers, we had to introduce that notion. Well, we are here today, and we are here to tell you that we've also expanded on that terminology. So coming in 9.5, as part of the accompanying the perk descriptions update, you're going to see across powers, killer power add-ons, and perks, the introduction of new killer words. So we're going to start distinguishing between basic killer actions and special killer actions. So as you can see on screen right now, we have going to be doing the distinction between basic and special breaks, basic vaults and special vaults. And when relating to generators, we're going to have the damage generator action, and then the new concept we're going to introduce, we're going to be like codifying is generator explosion. I think that, you know, basic and special breaks and vaults, pretty self-explanatory. Basic is when any killer can just do the standard action. But then when it's a special action, it means that it's a special ability that's unique to them, that's granted to them by their power. So for example, any killer can break a pallet, but then the cannibal or hillbilly will special break pallets with their chainsaws. You know, any killer can vault a window, but some killers like Legion can both fast vault windows and drop pallets with their power. And then every killer, you know, damages a generator by hitting it, but then only specific killers like the Knight can damage them with their power, or on occasion with add-ons like the first, where that add-on where Undergate just makes everything blow up.
Stop you there. What about perks? Because
Yep.
turn back the clock.
Yes, exactly. So turn back the clock, which was introduced in the previous update, it would be considered a generator explosion.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it puts that distinction there then.
Yeah, that's it. We really consider like the ability to do something remotely or via distance as a generator explosion. We took that explosion because, well, previously a lot of perks said generator explodes, and we were like, if it's, and the imagery was pretty consistent, and we were like,
Yeah.
I think most people will understand that when they say that. Yeah. So I have a list of examples to give today. Oh, sorry.
Take it off.
Whoa, hello.
Yeah. So you're now a TikToker.
Oh my God. Yeah, so as you can see, game complexity has grown a lot. So as you can see here on screen, we have the Hillbilly's power that now specifies that when you do hit a breakable wall or a drop pallet with his chainsaw, it will special break. We've updated numerous killer powers to specify now that this is the intended behavior that we have. Now moving on to Special Vault, we can see the Iridescent Button add-on for the Legion, which, you know, famously a very powerful moment in Dead by Daylight. You see Legion, and then you see them in Frenzy, and then they vault, and you're like, oh no, I have to move.
Don't want to drop a pallet again.
And then you're wondering, how does this work with other things in the game? Well, now we'll tell you, because when Legion special vaults, they special break the pallet. Another example, alert for the example on a Survivor perk. It was always a bit iffy of like, what triggered alert at the right time? What is supposed to be a break? Well,
And that's confusing for newer players. I know, like, people who've played it for many years, we've got thousands of hours, we kind of know automatically. But the newer players, the players who are just coming in, until you've got hundreds of hours in the game, you won't have got it. And we saw it a lot with Chaos Shuffle when people were having perks that they don't normally use. And they're like, oh my God, I didn't realize that perk did that on this.
Yeah, absolutely. Because now, you know, we're 9 years on, and we have interactions across hundreds of perks, add-ons, powers. It's so pervasive that we just had to we took the opportunity that the perks update introduced to us, and we ran with it. And yeah, just gonna keep moving on. Generator explosion. Now you can see that Surge specifies that generators will explode, they won't be damaged, they just will explode, and then they will start regressing. Also, one nuance that is important about generator explosions is, depending on the perk's effect, a generator explosion does not always trigger the regression state of a generator. That's up to how the power or the perk is designed. So when we say if something will start regressing or not, it'll be disclosed specifically.
And does that change the functionality of any of these things at
No.
all?
So this is very important as well. Similar to Perks, all of the text updates that you will see are text only. We have not modified the current behavior from Perks on 9.5 PTB. So if you see a difference, if you find a bug or you flag an inconsistency, you can always tell us on the team and we will investigate and get back to you. The great bonus and the work it causes for us on Dead by Daylight is now that we have consistent language, it just also is easier for us to talk together, both developers together, but also between players and players and developers. Ultimately, what we want is to everyone to understand, like, wait, this effect is supposed to trigger or not. But then you can also, talk about it together. Maybe some things should trigger off basic or special vaults. I think that will just help everyone understand each other better when talking about balance and how to design DBD. And lastly, one little example, which kind of started this whole journey on us, is, well, DBD players know what Spirit Fury does, but it was always particularly obtuse to figure out how do you activate Spirit Fury? And well, now it's pretty clear. I'm sorry. It's, it's basic breaks only. And also, if you notice, there's an exception at the end of the description of Spirit Fury when it says, the palette is destroyed. That is to specify that nothing is supposed to allegedly synergize with the specific effect. Because again, Spirit Fury doesn't basic break or special break a palette, it's destroyed because we want to, make sure that our complexity kind of caps off after a point. Because if you've played certain games, sometimes infinites happen, and we have to be careful because we don't want those happening in a real-time live game environment. So that's a bit of a detail that I wanted to bring today. Yeah, that's it.
That's it. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions? Yes. I can't read it because I don't have my glasses on.
Oh.
So, will the special gen break still count towards the...
Yes. Oh, sorry, I cut you off.
Wow, Nick. He does that a lot.
I'm so sorry.
What was the end of the question?
Yes, I'll reformulate really quickly. Will the special generator break still count towards the max limit? The answer is yes. So damaging generators and generator explosions still count to the maximum limit, the maximum limit of the 3-gen system, meaning it still counts as 8 regressions. If you've played with Surge, you're very familiar because Surge loves to consume the regression system, but that's the trade-off that you play.
Yeah. It's your fault for getting down so fast.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see how people use the new language and how that will foster communication. And again, if you have feedback, you can go to the Perk update. It'll be on the PTB, and you can give us feedback.
Yeah, our forums, Discord, Reddit, we're ready for the PTB. Any bugs that you might find, please head over to Beta Hub and report them as you find them.
Yes.
That would be great.
Nothing would make me happier. So we have another update after this. Yeah.
And this is now to a survivor item.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the fog vial. So last summer, we introduced our first DBD item, and in this PTB, we've provided an update to the fog vial item. As you can see on screen, it is now we've really worked hard on the consistency, making sure that the power and the obfuscation sort of design is now more consistent. Because when we had to update the fog vial last year, it's because we discovered, unfortunately, that the famous cooldown and reduction to 2 charges was because we realized that it was either very useful in some realms while also not useless at all in some other realms. So with this update, we're really happy to reintroduce the items and see how survivors experiment. We've fully rebuilt the VFX system. It is now always, it should be now always consistent in color and functionality on every realm.
Perfect, because that was one of the biggest issues,
Yes.
wasn't it? It was so different from map to map.
Yeah, and as you can see on screen as well, I'm going to switch to the survivor. Nope, that just resets the video. There you go. As you can see as well from the outside, it is now always perfectly opaque. Well, not perfectly, but it is like now, like it's clear when you're in the fog cloud and when you're out of the fog cloud. So, because before that, because of the lighting and consistency, it was hard to sort of understand the boundaries of the fog cloud. So now it should be much better. And also as an additional feature in this update, we've made sure that essential auras are now always featured on the survivor side. So notably before that, it blocked all auras indiscriminately. Now, if you don't have line of sight on a downed or hooked survivor, you'll see their auras. Though if you see a hook, but you know, little nuance, if a hook survivor is directly within line of sight of you, but inside the fog cloud, you won't see their aura. You can
Exactly, yeah.
You'll still know they're in there, but if you go look through a wall, then you'll see, oh, survivor's on the hook. Yeah, so we're really excited to see how people use the new and improved fog cloud. We've added more charges.
That's a big part.
Yeah,
That's
so
a
now
big part.
we're all rarities of fog vials are up from 2 to 4. The cooldown has not changed, and we're really happy to see what people are doing with it. We think that now it's definitely like a great strategic item to help prevent chases. Because you can use if you know that the killer has spotted you and is trying to get in range to start chasing you, it's very useful to just activate a fog vial and then try to be evasive while your aura reading is blocked, while you're doing less sound, while your scratch marks are being suppressed, because then you can then like surprise them or hide. But it is like also, because if you've seen on the video on screen, when you're in the fog, if the killer follows you into the fog cloud, they still just might find you.
Yeah.
So yes, if the killer just surprises you.
Do they lose chase in the fog vial?
No, should not.
That's an important one.
Yep. And here we're gonna go rapid fire, but you can see on the Forsaken boneyard, it looks like the fog vial. On the Yamaoka Estate realm, also looks the same. And now on the Wither dial as well, you can see it blocks the house. So
Perfect.
I'm really looking forward to see how people feel about it and get to play with it. And now, it's the big one.
Is it the big one?
I think it's the big one.
Do we have time?
I sure hope we do.
Go on, we'll do it.
Yeah, okay.
Come on.
Yeah, there's something happening in the next PTB, and it's the Trickster update.
You're excited about this one.
A little bit. It's been on my
We all
mind
are.
for a couple of months now. So in this update, we really wanted to focus and see and take into account the feedback from Trickster from the previous update in 7.4. And we really wanted to focus on Trickster's ranged identity. For killers, we really wanted to make sure that we celebrated accuracy with blades, managing blades for more rewarding shots, and like really make sure that we reward skill expression with an updated, surfaced, visible style rank system. You'll see more in the next few slides, but we've worked really hard, everyone, to make sure that Trickster now has a visible style rank combo system. That's coming to Dead by Daylight. And for survivors, we also tried to make sure that while versing against Trickster now, they are better rewarded for learning how to dodge blades and forcing Trickster to reload and dodging blades enough so that laceration decays. We hope that like it's more fun to like just be in chase.
And things, yeah.
And also importantly, because sometimes we get this identity a little bit mixed up, we consider this an update. It's not a rework. He's still throwing blades. He still has main event, but it is like a big pass on his gameplay, his add-ons. It's not any different. If you, for example, internally, we consider what we did last year to the Nightmare to be a rework because he had an entirely different power set that combined 2 previous locked abilities, and he just played very differently because of he could swap like powers.
Yeah.
So yeah, we really wanted to this time around reach the K-pop fantasy that.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. So. Coming in the PTB, you will have a brand new style rank HUD element that tracks your style in the game. It's always present on the top portion of your screen, and you will see your style ranks evolve in real time. This is exclusive to Killer only. Survivors don't have access to that information. And as you can see in the lower left corner, we have reduced his blade count a little bit as part of the balancing. You can play with that on the PTB, but also there's now a dedicated button for main event when it becomes active. Yeah. So just a little bit of history of Trickster combo systems. Originally in 4.6,
It's a long time back.
is 2021. Hey, it was hidden, it was not visible, and it only helped basically reward you for playing smartly with more blood points. In 7.4, now you know, playing well and hitting your blades successfully would help you like sort of empower your main event.
Yeah.
Now in 9.5, it's finally visible. It feedbacks how you're playing in more or less real time. It accounts for a bunch of different gameplay events that is related to blade throwing, but also what actions you do in the game. And also style ranks now all improve Trickster's blade throw rate. So the better, higher style rank you are, the faster you can throw blades.
Cool.
And you can also reload faster. So that particular moment of downtime, if you're skillful enough, it becomes much less painless and like allows you to even reload in chase.
So the speed part of Iron Maiden.
Yeah, so now it's built in. Yep. And basically it's like now style ranks, it's the core feature of his power. So we're excited to show it to you. And as you can style ranks from E to S. You start at E, and then each time you go up in rank, you start a combo timer. And the goal is to always be accumulating style points. So you're going up in rank, or at the very least, refreshing your timer.
Okay, cool. And what you said something about in-game actions. What
Yeah.
in-game actions count?
Ooh, well, we are going to have the full amount of details on the PTB patch notes, but it's about roughly a little less than a dozen actions.
Okay.
So for example,
Food Trickster Mains is gonna have fun with that.
I sure hope so. And yeah, so here's our first demonstration of what a style point is. As you can see in the demo video, the Trickster is picking a target, and then he is going to throw a blade. And as you can see, that was a first hit, and the Trickster gained a style point. As you can see, he went up, he got 1 style point in E rank, and went up to half of E rank. Each style rank has a different amount of points to increase, and basically it's by chaining actions that you go up in style ranks.
Do you have? Do they decay at all?
Yeah, so basically if you do not gain a style point periodically, you will decay from rank. So you'll go, for example, from C rank to D rank back to E rank.
Okay.
So if you have a hard time engaging with finding survivors, stuff like that, unfortunately, your style rank will go down. So yeah, here's an example on screen of style ranks. As you can see in the video, Trickster is damaging Yunjin, got a style points for injury, got a style point for breaking a pallet, got a style point for injuring another survivor again, but not for doing the same action twice in a row. This is
okay.
So that's a subtlety. We consider a combo doing different actions back to back. So that's another
an
layer
important one.
for
Yeah.
So for players who really want to main Trickster, learning how to weave your actions, blade throw, injury, breaking a pallet, breaking a wall, I think that's going to make interacting with maps an entirely new ball game in parlance. And so now you're interacting with a lot of interactions you do with the a map will count. Yeah. And also, maybe some people are asking, what about main event? Well, we're getting to that, but then we need to talk about S rank. So when you reach S rank, Trickster gains maximum throw rate, reveals survivors with killer instinct, and then gain access to main event. So, and at S rank, you have 66 seconds to basically go super intense on survivors and find them.
So you've kept the theming then, the double numbers.
Yeah, yeah. Well, also the killer instinct, you reveal survivors with killer instinct for 4.4 seconds.
Okay, I was going to say, is that 66 seconds?
We had to keep 44 somewhere.
You have to have 44 in.
Yeah, so yeah, that's it. So, and yeah, well, you're in S rank, you're at your strongest sense, and you reload lockers faster. And also, importantly, lacerations will decay slower.
Okay, so
if you lacerate survivors at range, you can, for the duration of main event, kind of leave them be for a little while. You can stockpile lacerations and manage more survivors that way.
Yeah, it makes it a bit more tactical.
Yeah, and we also improved main event. Now, main event, when you activate main event, you cash in your S rank, but then when you hit survivors in main event, you basically refund style points at the end. So now, as you can see on the video, you've gained S rank, and Trickster activates main event, and then you're hitting blades with survivors, and each blade triggers a bonus point, and when you're in fatigue, you get back your style ranks. So
you don't lose either by it, really.
No. So you get, now at S rank, a lot of options are open to you. Do I use S rank to stay consistently stronger for the entire duration and then return to E rank?
Okay.
Because S rank is like a super mode. You have to kind of, But the question is, where and when do I get to use main event to hopefully refund my style ranks and keep the pressure going?
That makes sense. And you can activate it manually. You can choose when and where.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there's like a lot of abilities now, choices to make with Trickster. Yeah, I believe.
It's fun. I love when he goes into main event.
Yeah, I mean, we've also, as you can see on screen, we've also like re-updated the laceration feedback on survivors. I think our team did a fantastic job.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing what the feedback on this is going to be.
Yes, I'm excited. We've had a lot of fun.
Style was known because in a previous stream, I think it was Jeff that had the PowerPoint, and there was some letters that were highlighted, and so people figured out style was part of this. So I think they'd be pleased to see which way that developed.
Yeah, I'm very happy. It's the first time we've had a power like this in DBD.
We've got some questions.
Great.
Do you want to read them? Because you can read them, I can't.
I have my glasses.
You have your glasses on, lend me them.
One of the questions we've had is, will the Trickster's add-on be reworked? Yes. I believe only 3 add-ons stayed the same. So
that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot
so
of
it's
changes.
basically a full add-on rework as well. Yeah. Another question, will there be a sound cue for survivors once the Trickster reaches S rank? Yes, it will be heard map-wide, because when the Trickster hits S rank, everybody needs to know, because he's at his most lethal. And also, we added a sound cue when you're in range of his main event.
All right, that's good. Yeah.
So if you hear main event...
That is feedback to the survivor of what is going on.
Yeah. Another question that we have is Yunjin getting anything as part of this update? So we've actually done a pass on certain original all-kill perks. So they will be shown on PTB. But yes, Trickster and Yunjin's perks are getting a pass to just help bring them more to modern DBD.
I'm looking forward to see what people think of Fast Track.
Yes.
In this one. I think that one's going to be kind of interesting.
You're teasing. That's not fair.
I like to tease. So
well, I'm excited for the update to crowd control. I think it'll be.
Well, you're teasing even more now, aren't you?
Well, we're here for a reason.
So again, PTB Tuesday. feedback, all on the forums, Reddit, Discord. We're looking forward to it. This has been a lot of work involved in this, so I'm really excited to bring
Yeah,
this to you.
very proud of
finally.
the team.
Yeah.
It's like, I've been told internally the SkyRank UI is the most complex UI element we've ever done on Dead by Daylight.
It doesn't surprise me. I've
looks
been in
great.
those conversations.
No,
Yeah.
it looks great, and
Yeah.
I think people are going to love the little attention to detail.
Yeah, it's really, really good. So thank you so much, Nick.
My pleasure.
You've
Glad
had
to be
great-
here.
You've had a lot to do in the last few months. So
Yes, I've been busy. Enjoy the PTB, everyone.
Thank you. And we've got...
Yeah.
We have something really cool, but we need a little transition. And then I will invite some more people onto the sofa. Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying. Hi. We have something now very new. And so I'd like to introduce Michael. Michael, would you like to say what you're
We
doing
saved the
with
best
us?
for last, what I wanted to say. Get hyped. You're going to love it.
Oh, that's a perk thing. Save the best for last.
I know what I'm doing.
Can't DBD things with me.
Welcome.
Well, hello. My name's Michael. I'm a level artist, and I was the map owner for a new environment that we're going to have upcoming in DBD. So back in 2021, when we first released the Trickster, there was a lobby that went alongside it. And I know that a lot of players thought the environment was super cool and had a lot of potential. And so it is my great pleasure to finally reveal Dead by Daylight's newest map.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we're excited for
Am I having
this.
to jump through these?
Yeah, we're going to switch over
There
to
we
the
go, the
PowerPoint.
Trickster's Delusion. Now, this map also comes with its own realm called the Sleepless District. Upon first glance, this map could be the Trickster's ultimate fantasy. There is blood and bodies littered throughout the streets. There are posters of the Trickster himself, scattered everywhere, plastered on all the walls. And there are even fireworks that can be triggered at some point during the trial.
Oh, that's
A
cool.
nice little surprise. But for players that inspect a little further, especially those that read Korean, I think they'll find that this construct serves more of a torturous reminder for the atrocities that Ji-woon has committed and how he can never escape them.
This is looking so cool.
So the gameplay area for this map is 23 tiles. The layout is static, similar to Raccoon City Police Station.
Okay.
We really wanted to use the structures and the landmarks to give a certain sense of directionality to this environment. This is something that I really tried to implement on the previous map that I did, which is the Ormond Lake Mine. And we wanted to help create like a layout that was fairly simple and easy to learn. Now, this is easier said than done for a city block, but the map can actually be divided into 4 sections, and there's a main road that cuts right through, and that both exit gates can be found on either end of this main road, and they do not change. So in one corner of the map, I can explain, there's the main building, which is the nightclub. And then opposite to the nightclub, we have the market and the park, which is a bit more of like a open area with a bit of greenery. In this market and park, players can find a very familiar building with a certain layout that has been themed
what
to
that
the
is then?
to the environment. And finally, we have the high streets and the low streets. This kind of gives a preview.
Look at the colors.
That is
Yes, of
amazing.
the
That's a
map's
nice. That's a
layout.
top down, yeah.
Yeah. And this kind of explains how things are organized.
I love seeing something like that. That really helps when you're trying to learn a map, because like the hardest thing for a DBD player, when the first thing, new map, having to learn the layouts, that sort of thing, where there's a vault location, where there's
Yeah.
pallets. So having it split like that, it just helps so much.
So the overall layout is fairly simple, but especially in the high and low streets, it can get very maze-like. You know, it's not to say that there aren't some maze-like elements to this map or some variation in the gameplay elements. You can find plenty of that. So we can start by looking at the nightclub. There's a coat check, there's a VIP bar and lounge, there's even a backstage area, and at the center is a very ominous looking mosh pit where thick fog enshrouds a dark and mysterious scene that we can find below. There's also a spectacular light show accompanied with by some music done by the trickster himself, but we'll let players discover that for themselves. In the market and park, it's a lot more open, as I've said previously. There are food trucks, market stalls, vendors' tables scattered all throughout. And we really wanted each section of this map to have its own sort of unique feel and aesthetic. So the border walls of this market that surround the whole thing are done with a more sort of traditional style, you know, stone wall. And we can see these beautiful paper lanterns all hung up.
It's so pretty.
It's so, so good. I remember when the team was starting this, the goal was like make the prettiest map possible, and kind of did that.
Yeah, so
Definitely think
the
so.
market too, it serves as a nice contrast between the futuristic, you know, like super bright, colorful, modern aesthetic that we have elsewhere throughout the map. This one's a lot more sort of traditional, and it'll give players a bit of a break from the ultra stimulating lights and colors. Speaking of lights and colors, we have the high streets. So here you can find stores, restaurants, even a karaoke bar.
Yes. When I saw the it was like I'm such a karaoke fan. I was like, it's like a gift from God.
Oh yes, we had a lot of
There's
fun
so many little details.
adding
in
these
this
cool
map.
little areas.
So many.
So yeah, the high streets are even paved with like you know, special tile, and it's all blocked from vehicle access, so it's like a pedestrian-only area.
That's so cool.
These are some examples of the interior of the stores. The overall ambience is a lot brighter and cleaner and livelier. Oh, this is Chuck, by the
We
way.
love
I
Chuck.
was gonna say, yeah, I can
love
see
Chuck.
Chuck.
He's friendlier than he looks. So opposite,
Chuck.
yeah, opposite to the high streets are the low streets. So here, you know, you can find some stores and restaurants as well, but there are also a few abandoned buildings, and the mood is a lot dingier and darker. So it was super important for us that these two districts have their own unique, distinct identity, because again, they can feel pretty maze-like.
Yeah, I think you can tell that as well from the images. There is that distinction there, so that's been really good. And I got to say, I love on the PowerPoint that you've got in the top corner there, the highlighted area of which part of the map. the
Yeah, that's a
image
really great way
reflects
to
That's
walk through this.
Really, really good. I love it.
Yeah, well, those two zones, especially like on either opposing corner, the high streets and low streets, they act as a nice foil to like the map's more sort of overall layout being a bit very simplistic and static, because you have all kinds of stores and alleyways, you know, connecting and chaining together. And the level designer did a really cool job finding all kinds of ways to make some cool loops and ensure some interesting gameplay.
I think you've all done amazing on this. I'm really excited to see this map coming onto the TV.
So much.
Yeah, because it's been a long time request.
Again, look at that in that shot right there. Look at that detail. There's so many little bits.
Yeah, we actually have some in-game footage here.
If you could click play, awesome.
So for this map, we really wanted to blend the aspects of indoor and outdoor maps together. So there are many places to hide and be stealthy, but there are also some open areas and large streets and alleyways for ranged killers or killers with dash powers. Again, like the way that all the stores are kind of intersecting, and we have the alleyways, you know, cutting through one another, makes for some rather interesting gameplay.
the exit gate.
Yeah, the exit gate is a really cool one.
That's really
subway.
cool.
I love it.
So we knew that creating this type of environment would be a very tricky challenge because, basing it on the city of Seoul, its unique identity is so tied with visual clutter and constant, visual noise. And we knew that we had to make sure that the density of lights and colors still had to be pretty high to best represent the environment that we were depicting. But at the same time, this came with a bit of a cost. We recognized that it would hinder some of the players' capabilities for finding some gameplay objectives.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm happy to announce that we also created that's the same video. A new asset that will be paired with generators. It's a unique sign that will flicker and until the generator's complete. So hopefully this will allow players to kind of view it from a distance and be able to spot these all throughout the map.
Oh, so it's not just in buildings, it's going to be generators that are on the outside as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So we'll have them on in the front of certain buildings to indicate when generators are inside.
Okay.
But for the ones that are outside, we figured we might as well make this language consistent and just have them everywhere.
That's going to be cool.
This is a look at the exit. It was very fun to...
I was talking to Dork earlier about this because she captured a bunch of these shots earlier, and even this is apparently quite a creepy experience when even though you're escaping, it's a bit of a creepy, spooky subway experience.
You never quite know where you're going when you run through those exit gates.
With a killer chasing you.
Here's some more footage.
Yeah, it's completely different, isn't it? Because that is so much more toned down with the lights and the lighting and the colors.
Yeah, so overall, it was pretty challenging working on this environment. It was super, super fun, though. It was a very fun challenge. Our environment team, we're not the biggest, and we had to be very clever with how we modularized everything to fill the most space in the smallest amount of time. But we also wanted to keep, areas unique enough to stand out as landmarks, because we didn't want it to be just one gigantic maze.
Yeah, having a landmark is really important. So you can find out where on the map you are when you're playing, things like that. The shack.
That's right.
I'm just enraptured. I'm sorry. I should be filling the air here. There's Chuck again.
We just want Chuck.
There's a second character similar to Chuck who actually is my favorite that I will not spoil.
I think
It's
I prefer
your
that one.
favorite?
Yeah.
You've picked
you might-
favorites?
We're going to have a civil war between those two mascots.
I'm sorry, but you can't pick
Hello.
favorites.
Well, now we just showed it.
Secret spoiled.
Yeah, so there are a lot of cool Easter eggs and secrets kind of littered throughout this map. Some jump scares, maybe. I won't spoil too much. I think the players are going to have a really fun time exploring these and discovering these for themselves.
Oh, I'm definitely
Absolutely.
looking forward to seeing them finding the Easter eggs.
I'm
And
very...
seeing the posts on it and see who finds things first.
Exactly, yeah. I'm super proud of all the people that contributed to this map. I think it turned out great. The audio, the VFX, the animations, the level design, of course, the lighting, all of it helped to come together and breathe so much life into this environment.
Yep.
And I think,
It's
players are going to have
incredible.
fun exploring and ducking and hiding and also stalking and chasing in this this new map, the
It
Trickster's
looks fun.
Delusion.
It looks fun and it suits him.
I like that name because it's basically like a hell of his own making, right? It's like, it's
Yeah.
beautiful, but he's being tortured by his past.
love
We
a
got
bit
some
of the
questions. First one, Richard Carter, 2021. How large is this map?
So, as I mentioned, it's 23 tiles, but this doesn't include the border fence. Usually, I think when we calculate the number of tiles and we give
Yeah.
that as a surface area, it's not including the border fence.
Which one? What map does that compare with? Do you know offhand? I'm trying to think.
I've been told it's on the smaller side,
Yeah.
but there's no change in elevation, no secondary floors in this map.
Okay, that helps. Yeah.
But there are, I know that the nightclub, because that mosh pit in the center is quite large, but you cannot access it. It's more of a pit where you can go around the middle. That's a lot of unused gameplay space. And there is, it's a pretty big building to kind of navigate, go around, but there's a lot of gameplay elements and some cool loops dotted here and there.
It's going to be fun.
Okay, another one. I don't know if this is your realm so much, but from DJ Leader, will there be music?
There will be music in the club, but not at first.
Oh.
That's a good way of putting it. From Ravens AZ, what realm will this be part of?
So as I said, this is going to be a new realm, and it's going to be called the Sleepless District.
Heck yeah.
It's so cool.
And also, we did want to mention, this will be in PTB on Tuesday, so just a few days away. It's PTB, so we're still actually not shipped yet. So we're still doing optimization on the performance of it. As you might imagine, there's a lot going on in this map. So what you experience on the PTB won't be what you experience once it launches. There might be a little bit of performance work that's still being done for that the file that goes live on shipping day. So
you could have a little FPS drops here and there and things like that, especially in the areas where there's highlighting, that sort of thing.
Exactly. But this looks so good. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being on the stream, by the way.
Yes, thank you. First time on
I'm very
our stream.
excited
And
get to showcase this cool new environment that we did.
That's so cool. I'm
We're
really
super
excited to see
excited to have
people
you.
dive into it. Yeah. And this is, we're going to wrap it up. It's been a rather long show. Thank you for sticking with us today, folks, if you have. I know a lot of you have. I really appreciate
thank
it.
you. Yeah.
And again, thank you again. Happy to have you back next time you get another map to show.
Oh, definitely.
And we're going to wrap it up. So PTB is on Tuesday.
Be Tuesday.
And you get to test out pretty much everything that was in the show today.
Everything.
Not the Grimoire stuff, but that vote is coming next week too.
That's next week's vote, and the Grimoire will be then later this year. I keep seeing that, and I saw that in chat that everyone was thinking it was coming this summer. It is going to be later in the year.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah.
But again, thanks everybody. It's been a
Thank you
pleasure
so
being with
much.
you, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.